Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Happy Sunday. How are we all doing? Oh, there's so many of you. Welcome, Rory, T. Jones, Madhu, Jenny, Susan. Hello, everybody. So in this video today, we are going to be looking at two big things. One, we're going to be looking at 45 for the rest of the year. So I'm going to do a reading on each month, September, October, November, December, because as I have said, I know there could be like a 6-month span of where, he could leave office, but I think it's probably going to happen sooner than that. I think there's a very good chance by the year's end, he is going to be gone from office. And I also want to take a look at the economy. And I have a pretty bold prediction about that. Actually, a couple of bold predictions. So if you haven't already, please help my channel grow. Hit the like button. It makes such a huge difference. Subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified. Share. Check out membership. So if you want to learn psychic development, I am so happy that it went so well on Tuesday. Once I figured out how to do Zoom meetings, it took a second, but it went so well. So if you want a live psychic development class, it's every Tuesday. It is at the Angel membership level here on YouTube. And I have a 1-day tarot seminar course on Sunday, the 28th of this month. If you want to learn tarot, this is a 1-day course. And I think it'll be beneficial, and that's at the Awaken Your Mind and Above level. And you'll also get the whole entire tarot class playlist that you can dig even deeper into. And then next Sunday is the eclipse, the 21st. And I'm going to do something that I haven't done before. Oh, you might be seeing Annie. And that is in the afternoon, I'm going to go live and do readings because, as you know, personal readings are just for members now. So for those of you that aren't a member, but you may want a reading, and I will explain how that works, I'll put a link for you. So, all right, everyone, let's take a look. See everybody coming in. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to look first at September, then we'll do October, November, December. And I think we'll get a really clear picture of what is happening to the president. Oh, people are saying hi to you, Annie. I see, Karen, so this goes for everybody. If you can't make it to the live psychic development class, it is then uploaded. You also get the nice notes after, so I'm trying to work with everybody where they're at. All right, so September 445, what do we need to know? Because these eclipses are going to hit him pretty hard, right? Okay. All right, so aces are new beginnings. Let's take a look. Obstacle, 8 of Swords. Interesting that we get the High Priestess. The Devil card, bottom of the deck. 2 of Wands. Okay, so if we put this together, yeah, I do think that this is a new beginning for him, certainly, right? He is somebody that is diminishing in front of our eyes. He isn't doing well. He is sickly. But he's not going to go out without a bang, right? Because Wands is fire, it's passion. I always say, like, when he's at his best, when he's like at his highest functioning, like years ago, even though like a lot of what he did wasn't ethical, he would come up as the King of Wands, right? So I'm not surprised that we're getting this to start off with, but it quickly changes, doesn't it? So clearly something happens in September that leaves him feeling stuck. He is isolated. He can't move. He's not doing what he wants to do. And so it really takes a different turn here. The High Priestess, that is hidden agendas, secret motives. Okay. Now, if we pair that up with the Devil card, another card of restriction. If you see, the two characters are chained down. So secret agendas, hidden motives that are devilish, fiendish, but keeping him tied down. Okay. I do not think the Jeffrey E. scandal is going away. I think it's going to keep coming back again and again. You know, I think the victims are going to do what they need to do. I think they're going to start naming names, but they need to do it in a way that they're safe, right? So, yes, scandals come out. I do think we're going to hear more about his health. And that leaves him wondering, what do I do next? Two of Wands. He's pondering, you know, where do I go from here? And yes, that's Maggie in the background, the calico. And if you're new to my channel, first of all, welcome. But both of my girls are in their 20s. And I always say, you know, this is what cats in their 20s can look like if they're living their best life, right? You know, if you're giving them everything that they possibly need and then some. And, you know, my girls are my babies. All right, so let's look at October. October for 45. What do we need to know? Okay, 10 of Cups, Obstacle, Page of Pentacles. Strong family cards here. 4 of Wands, Ace of Cups, and it's funny how we end with another 2. So 2 of Pentacles. So in October, there is a return to family and home. And here is the thing. You know, you might say, but Diane, like, these are pretty happy cards, right? But they're cards of being with your family, being in your house, okay? And I don't think that's really where a president should be. That's not when they're functioning at their highest, right? They're not at home. They're not with their family. They're running the country, okay? So what I will say about that, though, I don't think he's sad about it. I really feel like he's more of a cog in the wheel. I don't think he's some kind of mastermind. You know, like I've said before, I do think that he was given the role that he is in as commander-in-chief as a way to move Project 2025 forward, but with J.D. Vance, right? I really think that Vance is the one that they wanted, but he didn't have the name. Obstacle is going to have to do with children and money. You know, I think we know what that's about. So the Jeffrey scandal isn't going anywhere. So October, it's growing. And we're going to hear more about his relationships. And, you know, it's an ace, so it's a new beginning for him. So these relationships start to take on a new life, take on a new role in his life, and the way he's perceived. It's going to be an issue. And once again, he is left balancing and trying to figure things out. Which way do I go? This is also a card of trying to juggle your health. So October doesn't look very good for him either. All right, let's look at November. All right, so November for 45. All right, so the Empress is one of my cards for the US. All right, let's keep going. Obstacle. Okay, remember how I said when he's really functioning at his highest, he is the King of Wands. So he's sort of like his own obstacle, but I'll get into it. Magician. Hanged Man. Wow, lots of major arcana here. Wow, lots of major arcana. The Hermit. Okay, so November has a very different feel, a very different tone. Now, there's only 22 major arcana cards in the deck out of 78, and those are the big life cards. The 4 suits are the more day-to-day, the mundane. So where I only pulled 5 cards and he got 4 major arcana and a king, that tells me that November is life altering, life changing. His reality is completely different come November. All right. The US is going to prevail, right? No matter what, we're going to be fine. I know things oftentimes look bleak, things look crazy, but also too, you are looking at all the day-to-day things, the micro. Take a step back, look at the bigger picture. We're going to be fine. You can't get caught up in every news story. And I know so many of you do, and it just keeps you bouncing back and forth, but that's how they make money. So don't play into it. He becomes his own worst obstacle. You know, he is his own undoing. All right. The magician in this case, I'm going to say, is the abuse of power. The magician has 2 meanings. One, you know, like creating magic, having the skill set and whatnot. And he has a certain skill set. He knows how to get certain things done. We may not like what those things are, but he does know. And so I do think that this is an abuse of power on his behalf that really changes everything. Now he's flipped upside down and his life has come to a grinding halt. One where he's by himself. The people that he counted on, that he relied on, that he thought was his allies, are now pushing him out into the cold. So November has a distinct feel that is very different from September and October. So clearly this month and October, things are truly unfolding. And then he's starting to live the actual reality come November. And then let me finish up with December here. Will the US get divided into different countries? No. Just looking at all of your questions, comments. All right, December. Yeah, I think by December he's gone. His back is turned. 3 of Wands, right? Like I always say, there's only 3 cards where the character's back is turned. They're going, they've left. So, obstacle, the Justice card. So even though, and I said this before, I said this last week, he does have legitimate health problems. I don't know if you all saw, but he was at the September 11th memorial event. The right side of his face was drooping. He was falling asleep. When he was at the men's open in, I believe it was New York, he appeared to be actually taking pills. I mean, there was little, you know, white things that he was taking. He was falling asleep. His face was droopy. You know, something is clearly going on. I don't think you have to be psychic. Like I said before, all of that, I said, I do believe he has had a stroke, but because he does get better medical attention than most of us, it's not going to be, you know, as bad as it would be for us. We get this a lot for him throughout the years. So the Page of Cups, you know, he's sort of offering that stinky fish to all of us. And that's sort of all he ends up having to give. And the Page of Cups is a bit of a rogue, right? Yeah, justice is coming. So even though I understand he has legit health issues, and he, like I said before, I said this many times now, I think he's going to use the health issues to bow out. I'm too sick to deal with all of this, but it's really going to be because of scandals. And then this is him returning home. He's returning home with his family. And also, too, for all of you that think that he's going to jail, he isn't. I've never seen that ever, ever. I do not see that. I don't believe that's his karma. I don't think, for whatever reason, that's why he came down. I think he did come down to shine a light on anything that is corrupt and dark, because it forces us to do something. By him being so dark and negative, it causes us to react. It causes us to move forward. It makes us push new things into the light. We get new rules, regulations, laws. because of his darkness, right? Because you don't want these things to ever happen again. So was there something? Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I have a new blog that's coming out this week called Petstrology. This is specifically for cats and dogs. And it's for all of us that do not know our pets' birth dates, but still want to know astrologically what's going on with them. So I'm going to be putting it out every week. It will be on my website. I will post it here on YouTube under posts. You can sign up on my website to get it emailed to you. But I think it will be very helpful because for instance, I can tell when the moon is going through Sagittarius because they're up all night running around playing. There's a lot of things that we can do when we don't know a dog or a cat's birth date, but we still want to know their astrology. So look for that. And my website is dianeaquarius.com. I'm also going to be changing, I almost forgot, my YouTube channel's name from Diane's Tarot to Diane Aquarius. And that is because I do so much more than tarot. If you remember, you know that, right? We do channeling, we do mediumship, pendulum work, you name it, magic. So just a heads up. Okay, so looking at the economy, I do think it's going to take a dive in the next few weeks. It does have a Black Monday type vibe for me, which I know in the short run, that's not a good thing. I'm not going to pretend like it is. But here is my prediction. It is a very short-term thing. So don't panic when it happens. And I think we can all feel that it's going to happen, whether you consider yourself to be psychic or not. But what it's going to do is change our money. And this is where we start getting into digital money, crypto. It will make a change. I think it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Pluto's in Aquarius, Uranus is in Gemini. These are all markers of profound changes in innovations and technology. So I think it was going to happen anyways. I made this prediction back in January for the year 2025. And I believe I even said then that September was going to be a rocky month financially for the country. But once again, you don't have to experience it. Keep your vibes high. Set the intention that this will be your best month ever. And it will be. Align yourself with what you want to create. But I do think it is a short-term thing. This isn't going to be something that lasts for years, that drags us under. No, I don't think that. But I do think it's going to change our money, the way we do banking, all of that forever. So let's pull some cards for the next few weeks for the US economy. Yeah, okay, so I can see that a lot of you aren't happy about that, but I did make that prediction a long time ago, and I'm going to stick with it. And I'm not saying that I think it's all good. I'm not. It doesn't matter if I'm for it or not. Sometimes you just have to make the prediction that you're getting. It's not that you agree with it, don't agree with it. It is what it is. And I think we all knew that paper money wasn't going to last forever anyways, right? I can't even tell you the last time I touched actual paper money. Like when you get your real ID and they want you to bring utility bills and bank statements to prove your residence, I had to contact the companies because I can't tell you the last time I got a paper statement. Times have changed. Times have changed. So I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I'm just saying it's inevitable and it's just me. What am I going to do to fight it? Okay. So looking at the US economy over the next few weeks. Okay. Well, we are talking about money. Here we go. King of Pentacles. Obstacle, this makes perfect sense to me. The Temperance card. The Temperance card is about balance. She has 1 foot on land, 1 foot in the water. She is perfectly balanced. Balance is the obstacle. This is a card of harmony and peace, and now it's the obstacle. I'm going to agree with that. That was what I was getting. The Tower card, yes. Now, but let me point something out here. Let me put these down. With the Tower, the Tower card. If you notice, there's two characters here. Let me look at it. One is taking initiative and is determining his own fate. The other one is just falling backwards and letting things happen to them. So with the Tower card, what you always want to do is ask yourself, which one of these do you want to be? And that's what the Tower, I want to say the Tarot card. The Tower card is about, is asking you, which one do you want to be? Well, we want to be the one in red. We want to be the one that's proactive, that is determining our own future, that's taking the bull by the horns, making plans. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say here? Okay, let's keep going. All right, 10 of Swords. Yeah, I think that's our economy like flatlining. And at the bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords, heartache, heartbreak, grief. So I do think over the next few weeks, we are going to see a major dip with our economy. I do think, well, the US dollar is already losing value, but I think there's going to be a continuing of that. What I will finish up with saying before I do the 3-card pull, and I have to be careful because of the algorithm, but what happened to Charlie, you know who, on September 10th at the Utah University? Okay. First of all, I don't condone violence. I don't. But I can't say I was shocked because he has put out so much violence. I wasn't shocked that that's what he got back. Even if you look at what he was actually saying in that moment, he was talking about that. So I can't say I was shocked. I do think it's terrible to take anyone's life, though. That I don't agree with. But the one thing that is not surprising me is that the person that they have in custody is not cooperating. They are not giving information up. I think this is because this person is no mastermind. This is not the person that plotted it. And this is my prediction, my feelings, entertainment purposes only. I do feel like this was something that was very professional. I do believe there was hiring involved, if you know what I mean. And another country was involved to stir things up. I do not think 45 had this done. I do not, or the Republicans. I don't believe that. But I also don't think that the truth is going to come to light anytime soon. So I think right now we're just watching all of it unfold together, aren't we? So let's end on a positive note. And I'm going to do a 3-card pull. This is, I've been liking using, I'll do a different deck next week. The Trust Your Vibes deck by Sonia Choquette. I enjoy the Hay House authors. And I do get their quarterly boxes of cards. Next week, I'll show you one of the other new cards, new decks of cards. Okay, so using your intuition, all of my psychic development students, use your intuition here. Which one do you feel drawn to? 1, 2, or 3? And if you're called to look at more than one, choose more than one, that's fine. There's no limit. So number 1 is work together. So you can see they're cooperating to tend to the garden. You know, he's watering the garden. Somebody's picking and gathering. And so sometimes, and I have to say, I am guilty of this. It's not that I don't work together with others. I just have a tendency to do things by myself. And then before you know it, I get overwhelmed. I get burnt out. We all end up multitasking because I forget, like, especially when I was a director, like, I can delegate. You can ask other people for help. So where in your life do you need more support? You know, is it with your family? Is it with work or the volunteer job that you have? Whatever it is, work together with others so you're not getting burnt out. So you're functioning at your highest. Number 2 is in the same vein. I'm seeing a theme. Accept support. What I find with a lot of you, because you're light workers, you're empaths, star seeds, you just give, give, give. And you're not receiving, you're not taking back, and you end up giving from a dry well. And now, well, you're right back to being burnt out and exhausted, drained. Accept support. Ask for it when you need it. It's okay. And then number 3, free your creativity. And it's orange because that is your sacral chakra. When your sacral chakra is functioning and healthy, you're creative, productive, you have a love for life. I love that saying, art for art's sake. Create. What is it that you want to create? Write that book, make that video, record that song. Be creative with your cooking. Whatever it is that you enjoy, get in touch with that love for life, that passion and enthusiasm again. So, all right, my friends, it has been a pleasure. I will see members in half an hour. I'm going to do readings for as many of you as I possibly can. And until next week, have a great week, guys.